let's talk about oil. What's up investors, and welcome back to another video on this channel. If you're new to Recon Africa, they're on the OTC, ticker RECAF, or RECO on the TSX Venture Exchange. This is a company that I've been covering on this channel over the past few months, starting back when this was trading at only $2. Recon Africa recently hit as high as $11, but after pulling back to $8, it has been moving sideways over the past few weeks. To stay up to date on this company and other companies that I cover on the channel, check out the new Facebook group and follow me over on Twitter. Links in the description, check it out. So today we'll be looking at who exactly are Recon Africa and why they've so much potential. We'll look at the very latest news, including recent drilling news and more. We will look at the management team. And finally, we'll check out the latest financials and I'll give you my conclusion on Recon Africa. Before we get into the video, it takes a lot of time to do this research and bring you these videos as quickly as possible. So if you find any value in this video, can I ask you to smash that like button? It literally costs nothing, but it helps me out so much. Recon Africa videos on this channel have over 700 likes. That shows me that you want to see more videos like this. I'm aiming to get 200 likes on this video. Help me make that happen. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. And if you want free money, check out Webull, who are giving away 2 free stocks worth up to $2,000 if you open an account and deposit $100 using my referral link. Sell those stocks and buy the stocks you really want. It's basically free money. So check that out in the description below. And if you want to support my channel, check out my Patreon. Are you invested in Recon Africa, and what is your price target for the next 5 years? Leave a comment down below. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Now let's do a quick overview of the potential for anyone that's new, and then we'll move on to the latest news. Recon Africa is a junior oil and gas company engaged in the exploration and development of oil and gas in northeast Namibia and northwest Botswana, known as the Kavango Basin. Recon Africa holds about 90% interest in petroleum exploration license in Namibia, which covers an area of 6.3 billion acres, and based on commercial success entitles Recon Africa to a 25-year production lease. Namibian state oil company NAMCOR holds the remaining 10% interest. And they also have a 100% interest in the petroleum exploration rights in Botswana that covers an area of 2.2 acres and entitles Recon Africa again to a 25-year production license over any commercial discovery. The survey and analysis confirmed that Kavango Basin reaches depths of up to 30,000 feet and is anticipated to hold an active petroleum system. Recon Africa is required to pay Namibian corporation tax of 35%, and in Botswana, royalties range from 3 to 10% and 22% CT. If you follow my channel, you might have seen my recent video about 88 Energy, ticker EEENF. They too are a junior oil exploration company, drilling in the Alaska North Slope region. In that video we mentioned that they are drilling near Prudhoe Bay, which is the USA's most prolific and largest oil field. To put this in perspective, Prudhoe Bay is approximately 213,000 acres, and today it has produced over 15 million barrels of oil. The Kavango Basin that Recon Africa has the rights to is 8.5 million acres. That's nearly 40 times the size in acreage, and has an expected production potential of somewhere between 66 and 120 billion barrels. There's also several other oil companies exploring many areas near this area, such as ExxonMobil and Shell, and all the high quality infrastructure is already in place. So in recent news on Thursday, Recon Africa announced that the proposed acquisition of all the outstanding securities of Reconnaissance by Recon Africa was overwhelmingly approved at the Reconnaissance Annual General and Special Meeting of Security Holders held on the 13th of July, and that the Maleki agreement has been terminated in exchange for an aggregate of a combination of 3 million warrants and stock options of Recon Africa. As we can see here, the motion was passed overwhelmingly, with 99% of votes being for the deal. Closing of the transaction remains subject to customary closing conditions, including those of the TSX Venture Exchange, and is currently anticipated to occur on or before July 21st, so expect this next week. The second part of this press release was that the agreement with Isander Maleki has been terminated, and therefore any rights that Mr. Maleki had will terminate upon completion of the transaction. and in exchange for this he gets a combination of 3 million warrants and stock options. But the big news this week has been that Recon Africa and NAMCOR complete drilling operations on the 6-1 in the Kavango Basin. The 6-1 well is now prepared for wireline logging. Multiple logging runs will be made and up to 50 sidewall cores taken, all designed to maximise hydrocarbon recovery. After the logging and coring operations are completed, a vertical seismic profile tool, or VSP, will be run to total depth to tie into the 2D seismic program that will begin this month across the Kavango Basin. The first stratigraphic test well, the 6-2, will also have a VSP run, and the two wells will be tied together along the same seismic line. Later in the month, casing will be run and cemented to isolate the prospective hydrocarbon bearing zones. Now there's also this bit of the press release that I didn't take too much notice of when I first read it, but this is why it's important to do your due diligence and read things over a few times. So on July 14th, the company granted to a director and consultants of the company options to purchase an aggregate of 800,000 common shares of the company at a price of $11.39 per share for a period of 5 years. That's approximately $9 US. And then later I seen this over on StockTwits. We see here a filing on the 15th for the grant of options to acquire 550,000 shares by director Mark Gerlitz. And we can see that this was followed with acquiring 3,000 warrants at $3.89 on the 16th. Now I can't say with absolutely 100% certainty that the options granted on the 14th are the options filed on the 15th, but what do you think? It's literally the following day. A big thanks to the StockTwits Recon Africa community for posting this information today and then sending me a link to this when I asked for it. And last week, Recon Africa and NAMCOR were granted a 2D seismic permit for the Kavango Basin. The company was pleased to announce that the Republic of Namibia's Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism has issued on Friday the 2nd of July the Environmental Clearance Certificate for the initial 2D seismic program to be conducted in the Petroleum Exploration Licence number 73 in the Kavango East and West regions of Namibia. With the ECC now in place, Recon Africa and NAMCOR have begun acquisition of the initial 450 km 2D seismic program in the basin. Acquisition is expected to commence during the 3rd week of July for an anticipated duration of 6 to 8 weeks. The program provider is Polaris Natural Resources, Canada's longest standing geophysical contractor, and all 3 Explorer 860 units have arrived at Polaris's newly established base in Rundu. Scott Evans has said, now that the first 2 wells have successfully established an active conventional petroleum system, we are moving to the next phase of the exploration process, acquisition, processing and interpretation of the first regional seismic grid in the newly identified sedimentary basin. The program will provide the regional, geologic, structural and stratigraphic framework and identify conventional hydrocarbon accumulations with the goal of commercializing the potential major source of energy for Namibia. I also came across this article that was written at the end of June. Why Namibia could become the biggest oil story of the decade. What could be shaping up to potentially be the last great onshore oil discovery in the world has just announced encouraging results in the first section of its second well in Namibia's joint Kavango Basin, and modern history suggests that first well successes are rarely reversed. Now this article is way too long to go into in detail in this video, and it's from 2 weeks ago, so most of you probably already are aware of it. I'll put a link in the description for anyone who wants to have a read of this, or if you'd like me to go through this in another video, then drop a comment down below and I'll see about including it in the next Recon Africa video. So let's move on to the management team at Recon. JJ Park is the chairman and director. Mr. Park is an energy lawyer with over 35 years of experience advising on oil and gas projects. Mr. Park has advised oil companies, governments, state oil companies and investors on upstream oil and gas transactions, contracts, laws and regulations in over 50 countries. He has served as director or officer of a number of oil and gas companies with operations in Africa, including as chairman and director of Voyager Oil and Gas Corporation, and as a director of Caracal Energy, with oil producing assets in Doba Basin of Chad, acquired by Glencore International. He has advised oil and gas companies regarding petroleum operations in multiple African states. This guy is incredibly experienced in both the oil industry and the exploration of oil on the continent of Africa. CEO Scott Evans. Scott Evans is an energy industry leader with a combined 35 years of experience with Exxon, Landmark Graphics and Halliburton. In his last position, Mr. Evans served as Vice President of Halliburton's Integrated Asset Management and Technical Consultant Organizations, where he grew production from 20k to over 100k barrels of oil equivalent per day, creating the equivalent of a mid-cap upstream oil company. Mr. Evans is experienced in both US plays and internationally in countries such as Algeria, Kuwait, Mexico. He is an expert in new resource development. Dr. Granath is a director of Recon Africa and a member of the company's technical team. He holds a PhD in geology and a BS and MS from the University of Illinois. Dr. Granath is a structural geologist with extensive knowledge in African petroleum exploration. His expertise lies in seismic interpretation and integration with structural analysis, fractal analysis, regional synthesis, and prospect and play evaluation. Dr. Granath spent 18 years with Conoco International in research, international exploration and new ventures. Subsequently, he has advised many countries on structural geology and tectonics as applied to exploration problems, and has worked on projects in over 40 countries around the world. The full list of directors and officers, as well as the full technical team, can be seen on the company's website. They are hugely experienced in both oil and gas industry and exploration on the continent of Africa. Now let's look at the most recent financials. These are up to March 31st. Looking at the balance sheet as at March 31st, we can see the total assets amount to $69 million and liabilities amounting to $1.7 million. That's a ratio of over 35:1, which is up from a ratio of 26:1 from September 2020 and 15:1 for December 2020. Importantly also, assets is largely made up of cash, amounting to $36.5 million, which has increased significantly from December's cash balance of $6.8 million. Looking at the income statement, we can see here that Recon has not recognised any revenue for the period ended March 31st, or any revenue in the previous period. This gives us a total net loss of $2.9 million for the 3-month period, compared to $1.3 million loss for the same period last year and a $7.4 million loss for the full year 2020. As I said before, as far as I'm concerned, the income statement is largely irrelevant at this point, as the company has no income of note. The balance sheet is what's important here, and we can see that they have a very healthy cash balance, which is vital for a growing company. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Before I give you my final thoughts, if you've watched all the way through, then hit that like button. Remember, Webull are giving away 2 free stocks if you sign up and deposit $100 using my special referral link. So make sure you do that. Check out the link in the description. And if you're new around here, remember to hit that subscribe button and bell notification. Follow me on Twitter and join the new Facebook group. All links below. So what do I think? My opinion has not changed on Recon Africa at all over the past few months. I'm still as bullish as ever. I think this latest pullback has provided yet another opportunity for potential investors to get into this stock. I still feel the real profits here are to be made in the long hold. From an investing point of view, these types of companies are always risky, but we're getting closer and closer every day to the goal. This company has an incredible cash runway that will last into the foreseeable future, and as we've seen in my previous videos, with the 34 million being added in March and another 42 million added in May, I see no reason not to rate this as a fantastic opportunity, and overall I rate this as a relatively low risk, high reward play. But this is just my opinion, and if anyone is thinking about buying into the stock, I encourage you to do your own research and only invest money that you can afford to lose. As I said before, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Thanks for watching the video. What are your thoughts on the future of Recon Africa? Drop a comment down below and I'll catch you in the next one.